Oh, hi, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and I just want to express, that I'm just so frustrated. I really am, with all the hacking and stalking and how everyone just dismisses it and no one will look at it. It's so frustrating. Just yesterday, somebody sent me a WhatsApp message and I spoke to them on the phone and they were appealing for help with some targeted person, and they claimed that they were connected with government and all sorts of, but I really couldn't make head nor tail of the conversation, and I think we'd been on the phone for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, and in the end I had to go, and I thought, well, I just don't know what to make of this, but anyway, oh dear. So you've got to be so careful, because I've also had infiltrators who have been trying to get identity of people, and all sorts of things. So I'm very protective over anybody who's on any of my groups. And this person sent over a PDF document. And all I can say is after that, my phone behaved really badly. Every bit of torture device came on in the house, and now I've got what appears to be an Apple Watch attached to my phone. It's called music recognition on an iPhone, which you can only get for Apple Watch, but it's on my iCloud account, and I don't have an Apple Watch. And again, this just means that somebody's in everything. Also, when I download an app, if I've got two of them, then it's always meant that it's been cloned, like it's duplicates. There's two. And so this is how I know if I've been hacked as well. And so I went on WhatsApp today, and it was behaving weird. So I just had a funny feeling. It wouldn't let me set the passcode. Oh, it wouldn't let me sign out on one of the devices, and then it wouldn't let me remove the device either. Kept saying no connection to the internet. So I thought, right, someone's in the WhatsApp. So I deleted it and signed in again. Tried to, and it wouldn't let me because it said it was signed in on another device. And would I get the passcode? No, because I'm not signed in anymore. And it said it was for WhatsApp, and I was trying to do it on WhatsApp Business. So someone had actually taken my number, because I've been using my SIM card in my phone, and logged it into WhatsApp. I mean, if this isn't evidence, right, that someone's taking over your number, then I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely not signed into WhatsApp Business yesterday. And I don't know how they did it, but they had managed to do it while I was still signed in on two devices to WhatsApp. And they convinced WhatsApp Business that it was WhatsApp. Very strange, very interesting. But, to get the phone clean, I've literally got to keep wiping the thing. And on setup, it's just impossible because it's connecting to any Bluetooth, and then someone's setting up a watch to it, or they're connecting up the earpods or some other hacking software onto my device, all because this isn't regulated. The government doesn't regulate any of this, doesn't verify safety, doesn't care about your safety or your privacy. And what this means for me, I was just saying to God about it, who would think that I'd be here sitting in my life as my life is destroyed by my enemies? And literally, I just cannot believe the level of attack. It's like full time. It's all day. It's every day. And it's home invasions. It's stalking. It's intercepting all communications. It's taking over apps, taking over your own data, rewiring electricity, putting spyware and putting microphones in places in your home, hijacking your fire alarms, which emit a really high frequency, and you've usually got Wi-Fi. These are all things that I have noticed. And I was saying to God, it's just impossible. It really is. What is a person to do when, they can't even get any sleep? How can you run a business? How can you get any work done if you're being tortured all night long? You know what I mean? And these people are actively hacking you every 2 seconds. So you've got to spend all your time trying to get these people off your phone. And, well, it's AI. And you've literally got to put shielding up and move things around and switch things on and switch things off and take phones out, SIM cards out and SIM cards in. And, I just really pray that someone in this industry will take pity on me or somebody and say, hey, I know what we can do to protect you, I mean, it's basically got to the point where I cannot use my own number in my phone. It's this simple, my SIM card. Otherwise, they take over all the apps, they take over all the communications, they get hold of the data through the network, and they convince my Wi-Fi that it's on the mobile network so that things won't upload and won't download. They get into everything, so it's recording everything through Siri. They've got everything through Braille and fitness and shortcuts and double tap this and keyboard this and focus that and translate this and contacts and notes and camera and maps and following and tracking and photographing and listening. And it is just an incredible invasion of your space. And for me, I'm just finding it really, really hard to get my head around it. I think a lot of targeted individuals struggle to cope, actually, because it's so much to take on board that you would be just a normal person under this kind of attack. And it's not our imagination. This is a full-blown, organized attack on civilians. And I think that the world has gone mad. And I can't understand why it's so hard for the police to take me seriously. I've got so much evidence, like just from today, with WhatsApp. This kind of thing shouldn't happen. And this kind of thing is happening. If this was an ex-husband, they'd be on it. Well, actually, it probably is an ex-husband. But it's all of our exes. I don't know. But it's very disappointing for me. So, all night, tortured, all night long. And literally exhausted. I've got a sty in my eye. And I managed to get most of it down yesterday, but it's still swollen and sore, and now I feel really unwell and I feel really tired, and I had so much to do today, but I can't do anything because I'm emotionally and mentally and physically and spiritually drained, absolutely drained out of all possible energy. And I was saying to God, not only am I being hacked, stalked, terrorized, and tortured, as well as raped, and my privates are being cooked, my vagina and my bum, through this technology, but also I can't have any friends and basically can't have any support of any kind through this whole process. And it's just, well, I mean, it's worse than anything you could possibly imagine. being home invaded, broken into, is a traumatic experience. Having someone hack you is a traumatic experience. Having it happen every time you pop out is the most traumatic experience ever. Not being able to open your windows at your own house is a very traumatic thing. This is enough to put you off opening your windows for life. From my point of view, I don't think I'll ever feel safe in my own home. I'll never feel comfortable around neighbors. I'll never really ever be able to relax. I can't leave my front door open on my yard just in case someone comes in while I'm in the lounge or while I'm upstairs on the toilet. And these people are going to such extent to hook up things at a local level through Bluetooth. And, you know, Bluetooth can't be hacked from miles away. It has to be local. So this has to be the vaccinated people. And they have to have been taken over. This is my only conclusion. And the ones that are not aware that they're taken over, they're just mind wiped. Or they're a shell and they've been taken over and their mind's in the metaverse. That's the only conclusion I can come to. And I think there's some people who are left alone because they don't make a big shouting match like me. You know, like with someone I know, and they say, well, you kind of made this problem for yourself, didn't you, eh? Because you started talking about God, you're the one who decided to go online, and you did this. So you were asking for it, really. And I was like, yeah, I suppose so. But, you know, how long before God is going to do something? And I really feel like I'm very close to a victory with it all. But I'm tired of having to change my number. I'm tired of having to buy new phones with every spare bit of money. I'm tired of having to switch on and off my electricity. I'm tired of home invasions. I'm tired of not having any privacy. And I was thinking about this earlier, that at my office, there was people in my office who had iPhones, and it was probably all synchronized to my iCloud account. And they probably never said anything. And, you know, they had their own iCloud account, which was separate to mine. But I did find on one of the phones some of my photos, and I was thinking, I wonder how they've got on here. And then I was thinking, you know, maybe this has been going on a lot longer than I imagined. And, yeah, I just feel like it's a kind of judgment. Have you noticed that as well? So if you're a targeted individual, it's like they think they have the right. It's like they have an entitlement to know. And I also wanted to convey this. If someone is already stalking you and in all of your things, and now you get them out, they'll get really cross and they'll do whatever they have to do because now they're comfortable with what they're doing. And they really enjoy doing that. And it's a control as well. And this is why it should be taken seriously, cybercrime. I don't know what's going to happen with us, guys. You know, with the system we're going into. As you might know, I've got a fancy telephone number. And I've just been online. It's really hard to buy fancy numbers now. Really hard. My background's marketing, and I'd always do fancy numbers. But now it's become really hard. You know why? Because it's going to become hard to get SIM cards, I reckon. And it's all about data. Was it Nigeria? One of these African countries had made it that you'd have to link your phone number with your bank, and you couldn't get a bank account, or you couldn't get a phone number without a bank account linked to it, kind of thing. This was a few years ago. And, with the invasion of privacy that we have on our phones, with the photos, the scanning of our minds, and all of this is the beast system. And I don't want to partake in the beast system. I don't want my mind read. I don't want my brain scanned, and I don't want my mind taken from me either. And so I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, well, what are we going to do? Because we can't carry on like this. Can we? And what do you think? Do you not think about that? I mean, every day, this is what I am thinking about all the time. Will this ever stop? Will I get a good night's sleep? Will I be tortured today? I found that a neighbor puts on his music, and then his little washing machine goes off, and then everything in my house starts going off. And I think it's because they've linked it to an Apple Watch now, which is all through SoundCloud or whatever it is. And so you might find that on your phone if you check the iCloud settings. And so this means that my neighbor has got my private confidential communications access. And not only this neighbor has cameras everywhere, so he's monitoring my incomings and outgoings. But I just don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to think. I wish I had the answers. The Bible tells me in Revelation that God's children are protected by a seal. And this is for the 144,000. And God seals all these people. But the ones that are not sealed are tortured for 5 months. And 5 months could be 5 years, could be 50 years, goodness knows. But the torture is for 5 months for those that don't follow God. So if we are under this attack, I wonder if we are not sealed by God. Is there something we need to do to get the seal of God? These are the questions I think we should be asking, and they're hard questions to ask. What have I done that would cause this? That God would allow me to be completely humiliated and embarrassed and destroyed in front of my enemies? What have I done exactly that requires this kind of ramification? These are the questions I ask, because I believe the Bible, and God blesses his children. And he also says there's no rest for the wicked. And all of this comes from the Bible. He also says, I'll look after the birds. Will I not look after you? And so I question this, and I think, well, hang on, what's going on here? And if I pray, then it stops a bit. And I think that maybe we have to come up with a plan. I don't know if we can use smartphones. I don't know what the plan is. I haven't got an idea. I think we need new communications. I don't think we can exist in this society. We certainly won't exist when the ID comes along. We're going to be tortured in all the hotels. We're going to be, treated like second-rate humans, second-rate citizens. We won't be able to operate in society. As it is, I am not able to operate. How can you run an estate agent if you've got someone taking over your numbers and things like this? WhatsApp I use to communicate with clients, and their data is sent over by WhatsApp. I don't want someone accessing their private information. You know what I'm saying? And from my point of view, it's like, right, I have to make decisions here. Do as little as possible now. until this is over. That's what I thought. I'm just going to shut everything down until this stops and wait for it to stop, and then I can go back to work, go back to trying to conduct my life, you know. But no, it hasn't stopped, and it just carries on. And so I can't get on with my life, and I can't do anything. And I think a lot of us are in that same situation, and worse. Some of us are homeless. And obviously this is their agenda, is to make us homeless, despite the fact that we're perfectly capable of functioning. Some of us are suffering from mental illnesses and nervous breakdowns, that's for sure for me. So, I don't know. But if I've done something wrong, right, this is what I also think. If I've done something wrong against God, I can't think of a better way to punish me and make me appreciate just getting a good night's sleep. Certainly not interested in money anymore. I don't know about you, but I don't give a damn about money. I couldn't give a damn about going shopping or having lunch or going to do anything nice anymore, because my life has changed and I'm not interested in anything now. I'm not interested in going to the shop. I'm not really interested in, I do as little as possible because I don't really want to do anything, because nothing's enjoyable anymore. The sweet flavour of being on earth has lost its sweetness, and it's gone bitter, and it's really unsavoury. Everything is unpleasant. And this makes it really hard to preach the good news of Jesus. It really does. Because from my point of view, there's no good news here. There's only good news coming, as in when Jesus does his thing, and we can have some righteousness and truth here. But until then, this is the place where I live, where every day is like a day of horror. And you spend your life with your heart in your mouth. I don't know about you, but like, I put my handbag down in my house and I'm like, oh, and I can't find it. I'm like, oh, they've been in and they've taken my bag. Or I've lost my phone. I think, oh no, they've been in and taken my phone. Or, you know, passport or whatever. Can't find it. Oh, they've probably been in and taken it. Oh no. You know, but they haven't. But because of all the things that are happening, I'm on tenterhooks and I can't relax in my own home. So, don't know what to think, don't know what to make of it all. I think it's a real mess. I think it's a real shame that this is happening to so many of us. Goodness knows why. No one will support us, no one will help us. So we're kind of on our own, and we're at the mercy of God. What I think we need to do is, you know how we organised a court hearing for all the targeted individuals? And you know, every year there's celebrations for the pagans. Well, I think that we need to celebrate our being children of God and do a fast of maybe a week or 3 days, water only. We could do 2 weeks of Daniel fasting, which is vegetables and wheat. Was it wheat? Leavened bread. And we could do 25-day water fast together. If we all did it together and we all prayed, maybe we'd have some joy. Because Esther did this when we were under threat, and she prayed and got the whole of Israel to pray. 3 days fasting and prayer. No water, no food for 3 days. And I propose that we do that. And we call it the ESTHER fast. And we could We could do it in the month of Purim, which is when there is a celebration already in the Bible from the time of Esther. It was a purification. And we could do the same. We could do a fast and a celebration. We should be celebrating our Lord. And when could we do this? Well, any time now, because it's the beginning of the year. This really is the beginning of the year. In England, anyway. But everywhere in the world is different times for the beginning of the year, really. Spring. But March is the normal spring, sort of beginning of the year. So I would propose sometime in August, or, maybe in May. Maybe May. Maybe is a good time, because May says there may be a solution. We could do a May Day. Oh, yes, that's a good idea. We could do an Esther May Day sometime in May. Let me see. What are we on now? Yeah, we could do the first Saturday. Yeah, we could do from the beginning of May, start our fasting. If you're with me, I'm going to do that from the beginning of May. And I'm going to fast for 3 days with no water and no food. And I'm also going to try the 25-day. As soon as I've come off that fast, then I'll go on to probably a 25-day or 2-week water fast after I've come off it. So I recommend we do this together. I think it will offer us more power together. If you're with me, beginning of May, tell all your friends. 3-day Esther fast, even if you can only do that. Or you can do a Daniel fast for 2 weeks, which is just vegetables. No meat, nothing luxurious. Just plain food, plain vegetables. And water, no wine, no alcohol, nothing like that. And you're sacrificing some of this sort of physical pleasures to bring in the spiritual. I really think that would work. What do you think, guys? Put your comments in. Share if you agree. And I will call this Let's Fast Together, I think. And I'll do a separate one maybe for that as well. Let's do a fast. Let's do a fast together. Because I think this will help us. I think God is listening. But if we all got together, even though we're all over the world, I think He'll really hear us. I do. I don't know if you found it, but I found it. Like, as you're falling apart and your life's falling apart, everybody's watching, aren't they? And they're all chitter-chattering. And it's heartbreaking that they get such enjoyment out of it. But, this is the world we live in, isn't it? It's disappointing. Very disappointing. And actually my heart aches in pain. It hurts. My heart aches badly about it. But the Lord relieves that. He does. But it's an incredible amount to go through for someone. For a week, for a day, a year, a month, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's just ridiculous. And these guys just never stop. That's the other thing. I've said to God, there was one guy, Laser Quest, who said it stopped when he started to pray for them. So maybe we just need to pray for them. Pray that God will bless them with all the treasures of heaven, and that they will have the most amazing life, and maybe they will feel content enough with their own lives. But I have found they do feel that they have the right to judge and discuss me. There was someone I met actually, and they were talking about someone that I knew, and apparently they'd gone through the bin to check paperwork and things. And this was someone who told me this in confidence, so I'm not going to tell you who it is. But it made me think to myself, well, that means that people will go through rubbish bins and check your post, your notes, what you've been buying. And so, I don't know if you have that with your bin. I don't know if you've got a bin spot. Anyone going through your bins. But this also is a data leak for your information. So what I do actually, if I've got anything that I don't want anyone else knowing about, I burn it. And I also do that with, any machinery I take apart where it's got a little board, control board, I'll burn it. I don't want it recycled back into the gang stalking operation. But I think the main battle is that we don't know the technology and nobody's regulating it. No one gives a damn. But I think the whole world is waking up and lots of things are happening. So I recommend that you start taking things apart, everyone. Bluetooth is a real problem for me. And I think that these people have now hooked me up to a watch, an Apple Watch. And I don't have an Apple Watch. And this makes me cross. Because I don't have an Apple Watch and I don't have control of that. What I will have to now do is probably wipe my phone and start again. But then I risk the setup of the phone hooking up to the neighbors again. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. That's all I can say. Don't know what else to suggest. Fasting and prayer is the only way, I think, forward for this situation. And if you've got WhatsApp or Telegram or even TikTok, don't accept images, don't open it, just delete the whole message. Please listen to me. I found that I've got messages on TikTok with photos and suddenly they're in everything as well. And with Telegram, just with links. With links, photos, PDF documents. And I'm not quite sure where that embedded code comes from, but it's tracking you and it's rewriting all your code on your phones. It could be from YouTube. It could be from Facebook. Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, any of these links, I won't click on them. As soon as someone sends me a link, my phone plays up. And so I have problems. Photos, again, I'm just really, really uncomfortable about getting photos. I've had photos from some people and they're okay. And then photos from other people and it's not okay. So I just basically don't want to have any photos. Same with videos. Same with Spotify links. Oh, another one to avoid is Discord. Whatever you do, don't download that app. It is terrible. For hacking and stalking and synchronizing your home to the whole gang stalking network, Discord is the master of this operation, and it's the central hub for the server uploading and downloading all of the data packets. And with that particular app, they can upload and download to your device large, very large files. Very large. And because Discord is a little bit more free and easy, there's some really, really bad stuff on there. It's a bit like the dark web version of TikTok or Telegram. I'd say it's the dark web version of Telegram. And all sorts of nasty stuff on there. So avoid Discord. And what was the other one? Signal. I can't have Signal either. That's another problem. As soon as I have Signal, they're in my phone. Don't know why. And I had a little look at Signal. What is the construct? How is it operated? And it's much the same as WhatsApp. But it has some slightly different designs, and it won't allow as much media in. But for some reason, as soon as I've got that app, I've got problems with my phone. So, and someone had asked me to download it, and then I had problems with my phone. And then I stopped talking to this group. It was actually a targeted individual group on not Discord, on that other one I was mentioning. And so I joined it, and then I hardly ever went on it because I'm not really used to using it. And then I was removed from the group anyway. So I was like, okay then. And then someone else said, and I removed myself, I removed the app. And then someone else said, oh, contact me on Signal. That was it, Signal. And I said, oh, okay, as I knew about it. And then I had problems with my phone. And I thought, you know what? I had problems since I've got this app. This app is going. And I do that. And it's getting to the point where my main problem apps are WhatsApp, Telegram, TikTok, CapCut, any audio apps that I use to record and convert media, any design media apps. Only reason I've got problems with this is because they know everything about me. I can't really stop that because of the invasion of privacy and the tracking, hacking, stalking. I decided, as I say, yesterday and the day before, I wanted to use my SIM card to prove to myself that I could use my own phone number, my own SIM card in my phone, and stop them getting in. But I couldn't. And that's the simple fact. I couldn't have my SIM card in my phone without them hacking everything and getting into anything that has that number. And this means my iCloud account can't have my number. This means that most of the apps I use cannot have the login of my number. Gmail's the same. Any banking has to be a different number. And they've even taken over 2 other numbers now as well. And they've even convinced my phone that it's on EE. I get text messages from EE, and I'm not with EE, talking about some home internet, which I don't have. And again, this just confirms to me that somebody has taken over my number. And this has to be from the network level. It's what happens with Hollywood stars. And they've got a whole big security team and endless resources. But I haven't got that. So, very frustrating indeed. Very frustrating. I don't know what the solution is. The solution really is for the government to crack down on this kind of crime. And for us to expose whatever we can. And humiliate the government with all our evidence. That's all I can suggest. I was going to phone up Apple today about this Apple Watch that's obviously on my account, because you can't download this music recognition app unless you've got an Apple Watch, and you do it through the Apple Watch. So with the Apple Watch, you get a copy of everything that goes on the phone. Can you imagine that? I don't even have an Apple Watch, but someone has an Apple Watch linked to my iCloud account. And for me, that is horrendous. So I went online, and on iCloud, it was like, yeah, if you bought a second-hand device, it could be linked to No, it's rubbish. This is on my iCloud account. And my iCloud account shouldn't be linked to the phone. You know what I'm saying? So this is just Apple's excuse for stalking you, as far as I'm concerned. Because every app on there is to stalk you, to watch you, to get a copy of all your messages and communications. And this complete takeover of your identity, as far as I'm concerned. It's very dangerous. Identity theft is serious. And this is far more. This is mind theft, body snatching, soul theft. So, yeah. Hopefully this will help you. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. If you're a targeted individual, you're not crazy. Okay? But this is a spiritual war. Prayer, fasting, the Lord. So anyway, don't know why we are under this attack. Maybe we have broken God's laws. Maybe we are being straightened out. God does say that he puts his children through the fire. And we are in the fire. Does feel like it for me anyway. But you're not alone. Christ is with you. And I'm with you too. And we are together. And no matter what happens, they can't take Jesus from us. They can take everything else. But they can never take Jesus. And for me, that's all I need. I only need Jesus. I don't need money. And I don't need anything. You could take everything. But you can never take Jesus. For me, that is brilliant. And that means I've won as well. Because it doesn't matter. You can't take Jesus from me. Jesus is with me. So, and we can only share Jesus because these people need Jesus as well. Obviously, if they're doing these things. Oh yeah, before I go, what I find really irritating is the ringing. And what I think really gets up my nose about the ringing is that it's a forced ringing that has been specifically engineered into the houses. Whether this is a government organized crime against all of people, I don't know. But the ringing actually makes my ears so sore that the drums are swollen of my ears so that I can't hear. And I go in and out of having sore drums of ears. And I literally cannot hear. I can't concentrate because my ears are so raw sore in the drum. Because of the frequency, which really affects me. And it also affects my balance and things. To the point where, I don't really want to drive. And I don't even use my cars now. So they're all going to go, I think. Because, gone are the days of going out and going to the beach and having a nice day. And gone are the days of going out for lunch and just having a nice day and being able to relax. No, there's no more of those days for me anyway, not at the moment. And it's just wait and see what the Lord does. I believe that we've got victory. And we've just got to hold tight. Prayer. And I also shared with you Psalm 23. And should say that every day. Because it will help you as well. And also to play the audio Bible on your phone. Get rid of all Bluetooth. Get rid of TVs. And don't have the SIM card that you're using for your sign-ins as your main number anymore, kind of thing. Can't use the number that you're signing into things with for phone calls. It's that simple. Otherwise, they would convince your phone that it's on that network and take over your number and take over all your apps and take over everything, your emails and everything. They get into the iCloud and then they just take control of every app. And this, as I say, has to be done locally through the double tap. It's horrendous. All right then, it's Ayesha from God FM. I hope you have an amazing day. And who would have thought, even 10 years ago, that I'd be sitting here talking to you about all of this? I never thought this was possible. I would never have believed it. If you told me 10 years ago your life is going to be destroyed by your enemies, your neighbors, you won't have any friends, you're going to be gang stalked, as in stalked by everybody, You're going to be watched. You're going to be listened to. Every moment of your life is going to be monitored. And they're going to torture you as well. And you're going to have home invasions. And you won't be able to use your own SIM card in your phone because they're going to be in everything. I would never, ever have believed you. Never. I just would have said, you're crazy. But this is what's happening. Okay, but you're not alone. We have victory. And I can promise you, we are waiting for the Lord and our treasures. Where your treasure is, there the Lord will be. Your heart will be. And hopefully the Lord too. But yeah, who would have thought that having a good night's sleep would become the most valuable asset in my life? But it is. Because if I don't get a good night's sleep, I can't do anything. To be honest, I just can't. Can't operate. So it's crazy, it is. Anyway. Oh yes, before I go, I was stung by a bee in the crotch. 2 bees, twice, over 2 different years, right? Same spot. And it's a really thin piece of skin down there. Okay. And I think that we've had bites from things. So, recommend deworming and getting some magnets and putting it wherever you're affected to help you, okay? All right. Love you. It's Ayesha from God FM. Take care.